Hello, this is Klopop321 and this is my 8th tutorial, 008. And if you're hearing noise, it's because I'm in a car on a trip. Anyway, today I'm going to introduce the HTML form and how to submit them, and putting in your own, letting the user put in their own values to send to the server. Also, I'm going to go a little bit more over some of the past functions. So first of all, in HTML, and I'm not going to really use complete valid HTML here. So now a form variable just simply goes like this, and has beginning and end. However, you want to set the action to the same file, so I'm just going to say question mark, and that's pretty much it there. And then you can set method to either post or get. Now, I've kind of shown that variable sum here. Like you can see here, I say post or get. Well, request pretty much is a mix in between. It takes either or, and so that's why I prefer request. So I could say post for the method, and pretty much post. If you use get, the URL changes. If you use post, then the URL stays exactly what this part is right here. Nothing else really changes. It puts the information in the background when it sends it. Now, the way that you have a form to where the person can send it is by having inputs. So I could say an input, and I'm going to say the type is I'm going to say submit, and that's kind of for a submit button. Now, and the next thing I'm going to put in is an input for a type of input that you can put text in. So I'm going to say text, and I'm going to name it because when you're doing the request thing, like remember how I'd have it in kind of an array format here. Now I put the name here. So if I put in first here, that matches this first in the form right here. So I'm going to close that, and I'm just going to go here and echo this. Now if you're noticing, I'm not doing the is set check anymore because I've turned off the strictness on my server. However, if it has an error that causes the page to pretty much die, then it will show it. I can go here and get to my server. Now, as you can see here, it says submit query. That's the default text for the submit button. Then here I have a text field. So I'm going to say text and send it. And as you can see, it shows this text right here that I typed in. And I'm going to say happy turkeys and send it. And it's going to say happy turkeys right there. Now, what if I say, well, I want to also keep that same variable in the text form? Now I could say it equals to, and then I can go and insert PHP right here in the middle of the HTML, and pretty much copy and paste this section in right there, and save it, and refresh, and resend. As you can see, it keeps happy turkeys. I'm going to say happy turkeys 1, and it saves it. And so let's put this kind of an example of having numbers. So I'm going to have this. I'm going to name this one second, and I got to change this here so it matches itself. And I'm just going to say X and Y, just so the user knows that I'm asking for what the X is and what the Y is. Now, I can say echo, and I can do int, and then I'm going to say this request of the second or first, I'm just going to paste this in there and then copy this here, do int, and then paste it there. I'm going to multiply the x times the y. So I'll save it, and now I'll just do this. Now, as you can see, it's 0 because when you have blank or you have text that's not a number, it will default to 0. So if I say 1 and save it, it's going to say, yeah, you kind of still have a 0 here, so anything times 0 is 0 by the 0 property. Now if I say 2 here, it's going to be 2 by the identity factor of, or principle of anything times 1 is itself. But if I say 4 for the x and y is 2, then it's going to be 8. Pretty much as simple as that. Now, so what if I want to default these here so it converts it to a number already? Well, then I can just do that. And so if I decide to go crazy and type in crazy, it's going to default it to 0 and kind of correct me on that. Now, the next thing that I'm going to show you here is going to comment that out of the way and put a break here. Now, I'm going to kind of go over the trim function a little bit more. Let's say that I want to take the trim of the first thing here. I'm going to take this integer off. Rather, I'll just half comment it out within the line. So this part just gets ignored, but the rest of the line still gets executed. And I'm going to say to trim the first, and I'm just going to echo it that way. So I'm going to say happy turkeys will rule the world someday. And I'm going to send it. As you can see, it has that right there. I can put a bunch of spaces and then save it. I kind of show you before with the source that there would be a bunch of spaces here. And I'll just kind of, oh, and by the way, the last line in PHP does not need a semicolon. However, it's usually best to do that if you're adding on to it. And I'm just going to take off this trim function real quick so you can see what it looks like in the source if I do not have it. And refresh, resend, and as you can see, it still has all those spaces. Kind of a going over the trim function right there, and I just undid that, so it's still there now. That's pretty much it for today. Except I'm going to go a little bit more with the with that first thing of with the numbers. I'm going to say tires type, and I'm going to say here how many, and save it. And I'll just simply kind of do the same thing here. Tires type will be kind of like equality of from 0 to 10, and 0 pretty much being nothing or trash, and 10 being the best. And I'm just going to kind of have it as this multiplier here. I'm going to say here, your cost will be, and then dollar sign right here, concatenate to there, and save it. However, I'll put these inside of its own parentheses so it executes it by itself and it keeps it separate from the string. It's usually safe practice to do that. And then I'll refresh here. And obviously, having turkeys will not be a real tire type here. So I'll say tire type 3, and I'm going to want 4 tires, and save it. And it says my cost will be 12. Obviously, the tire's not going to be that much, so I'm going to kind of put an extra factor on the on this first part here. I'm going to say the tires goes up by about 20 for the quality of what it is. So I'll refresh this and resend it. And now it's 2 for that. Seems a bit more somewhat realistic with tire cost. And that's pretty much it for today. The next tutorial will be going over more with string functions. Just basically, I'm going to be introducing 3 more functions, going over 2 functions that I've already introduced to you. And that's it for today. Signing off, 3, 2, 1.